remember the first time you came to Toastmasters? For some of you, that might even be tonight. But no matter which club you went to, we all had the same experience. We all felt those butterflies in our tummies before walking through that door. We all received a warm welcome. We all met Michael J. Clark. Mr. Contest Chef, fellow Toastmasters, and anyone who has ever caught themselves R-counting while watching TV. This is the story of a man just like us, and how Toastmasters took over his entire life. He first attended his Toastmasters meeting a long time ago, and back then, women weren't even allowed to be members. Because all the men knew, if we let the women in, they'd be better than us. He entered the room, sat quietly at the back. The Toastmaster comes to the stage and begins the meeting by talking about a mythical character called Dr. Ralph Smedley, who founded the first club after slaying a dragon. Soon he hands over to the R counter, and with malevolent eyes, the R counter begins. I am your R counter, and at Toastmasters, we listen. I'm listening to every every R, and every that you say, and I make a note. Our protagonist tenses up. He uses all the time. Imagine if he gave a speech, the R counter's report would be endless. How embarrassing. How can he avoid this fate? Perhaps he just won't say anything. Or maybe he could be the R counter. Surely the R counter escapes this judgment. Next, the general evaluator takes to the stage. I'm your general evaluator. And I've been listening to every word the evaluators have said. And I've made a note. By this point, our protagonist's heart is in his mouth. Not even the R counter escapes the judgment of evaluation. He'll just never have to talk, ever, until he can be R counter and just escape it. Finally, someone else takes to the stage. I am your area governor. I've been listening to every word that everyone at this meeting has said, and I've made some notes. By now, our protagonist feels like he's trapped in some kind of Orwellian nightmare. Everything that he does is watched over by an organisation known as the District, governed by its lieutenant governors of truth, love, plenty, and peace. As he joins the club, he is given a copy of the Holy Scriptures, referred to as the manuals, and told to recite the 10 parts of the Toastmasters' promise. Thou shalt attend every meeting. Thou shalt evaluate. Thou shalt serve thy club and evangelise its benefits to others. Browbeaten, he heads home and switches on his television, and the Prime Minister of the day, Harold Wilson, is addressing the nation. I think that the foreign policy we have laid out, screams our protagonist. He's supposed to be the Prime Minister. How dare he use an Has he not heard of Toastmasters? Soon, lost in a sea of confusion, he is R-counting everything. Every conversation he counts his own crutch words, and when he slips up, punishes himself like a 13th century flagellant, mortifying the flesh for the sins that he has committed. He begins evaluating every conversation, from a teary hello to a tearful eulogy. It's commend on the left and recommend on the right. Pretty soon, his wife has had enough. I'm leaving you! All you ever think about is Toastmasters! Limp and dejected and cowering in the corner, all our protagonist can say is, clear purpose, but it needs more vocal variety. He's now alone, his wife has gone, in his empty house, and he's a man on the edge. He doesn't know what he's going to do. Maybe he'll pick up this chair, and then put it back down again, and then write a 5 to 7 minute speech about how he picked up a chair. It's great, there's an advanced manual on furniture, gets body language and vocal variety into the same talk. It'll be brilliant. Finally, it all becomes too much for him. With shaking hands, he reaches for a large pack of paracetamol, moves it off his writing pad, and pens a letter of resignation to his Toastmasters club. But it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to end like this. Yes, the lessons that we learn here at Toastmasters are important. But chastising ourselves every time we let out an is the path down which madness lies. We're all trying our best, so don't worry if you let out the occasional R, if sometimes you talk too fast, or if you use crutch words in everyday conversation. Take on the feedback that you receive here at Toastmasters, but don't let it take over your life. After all, to forgive may be divine, but to is human. Mr. Contest Chair.